Solari, and finally David Beckham. Big name missing there, big name and a big man. Player who's not made it has had a recurrence of a thigh injury, Ronaldo. How vital could that be at the end of the day?
It could be enormously important. Real Madrid, even when they play well, Real Madrid just lack that little bit of decisiveness with Ronaldo out. They've not had a great run when he's missed games. Obviously, this game, though, is... the laws almost go out the window for this, Paul.
There's the Barca fan team clapping the Madrid supporters, and you can probably hear the reception Barcelona have had there. Not the warmest reception you likely get in the Spanish Primera Liga. And there is
the man, Paul.
Ronaldinho. Probably, I would say, possibly the most exciting player, at least in Spain this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a quick look at the Madrid substitutes as the Madrid team come out onto the pitch to their traditional hymn, and the fans making a white mosaic, which is very spectacular. Not a lot of colour contrast, but very impressive. Madrid subs: César, Borja, Portillo, Guti, who's lost his place in the side, Núñez, Mejía, who's been struggling with injury, and Juan Fran, the right-sided midfield player. So, looking at the bench, Madrid, they'll be hoping not to have too many more injuries there, because Mejía has struggled all week.
Absolutely, Madrid don't have a great deal in reserve. To be honest, tonight, nor do Barcelona, although it would be very interesting indeed to see if Luis Enrique got on the pitch tonight, Paul, because Luis Enrique, of course, is the Barcelona player who used to be at Real Madrid. He's sure to get an extremely hot welcome if we see him tonight.
Talking of hot, it's a lovely day here, about 25 degrees, and look at that wonderful aspect the ground's giving. Completely everybody here holding up their mosaic. Their mosaics. We can give you some results from early on in the day in the Primera Liga. Espanyol 3, Atletico Madrid 1, Malaga 1, Deportivo 1, Betis 2, Real Sociedad 1, Valladolid 1, Mallorca 3. Massive result for Mallorca. That puts Valladolid in real trouble. Celta 1, Osasuna 0. Disastrous result for Osasuna. They're chasing Europe. Zaragoza 4, Seville 4. Racing 0, Albacete 2. That really puts Racing in relegation difficult.
Certainly does.
Great result for Albacete though, and there's Villarreal 1, Murcia 0, and the other big game of the week be played after this game finishes here in Madrid. Athletic Bilbao 5th against Valencia. Valencia really need to win in Bilbao. Bilbao go into the game knowing, however, that they can really almost seal a place in the UEFA Cup. Referee tonight, Pérez Burrull from Santander. He's refereed Madrid 16 times in his career. As I said, Real Madrid done a fantastic record with him. 5 wins, 7 draws and 4 defeats. So he's certainly not somebody you could accuse of favouring Real Madrid.
No, absolutely not. And of course that's quite a hot topic at the moment after last weekend when Madrid got what seemed a dubious goal given in their favour against Atletico, and then Valencia had the referee very much against them on Sunday, and those are the big two in the Champions League. Lovely to see that. Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos, and a bit of a hug before the kick-off. All eyes will be on Ronaldinho tonight. There's been a real backlash in the media over the last couple of months saying Ronaldinho is the great player in Spain, and I tell you, he has been absolutely sensational this season.
Just see Ronaldinho there in the middle of the centre circle, hands on his hips. You can't really see, we're not focused too closely in him. Hands on his hips, he's had his eyes pointing up skywards as if taking in the atmosphere. I think he's somebody who's really going to enjoy it, and if Ronaldinho enjoys it, I think everybody tonight is going to enjoy it. So Barca get kicking off. Reisiger and Saviola exchanges passes that to Carles Puyol. Interesting to see how Puyol lasts, actually. He's had a couple of injuries over the last few weeks. Straight away though, Madrid attacking. Míchel Salgado. It's a good ball there over Raúl. There's Solari and Victor Valdés getting his first intervention. 23 seconds on the cross of Madrid. Lightning start to the game.
Yeah, it's actually a very, very slack pass from Carles Puyol. Solari sprinting away. Solari's been a magnificent player for Real Madrid this year. Still fundamentally the number 12, the guy who only comes on when there's someone missing. But virtually whoever's missing, it's Santiago Solari who comes on.
They don't really need to get him a shirt. They just paint number 12 on his back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised he hasn't got a tattoo on it, except, of course, when they play away, he'd have to change colours, which might be a little complicated.
There he goes, okay. Foul given there on the near side as Roberto Carlos brought down Marc Overmars. Barcelona getting that ball out there is Ronaldinho, of course, who was close to becoming a Real Madrid player at the start of last season. They asked him to stay another year in Paris Saint-Germain. He didn't want to wait another year. Decided instead to go to Barcelona, and I think how grateful are they in Barcelona that he did that.
Absolutely. There's been some rather unfortunate comments in the press this week come out from an unnamed source at Real Madrid. Let's just see what happens there.
Cocu caught napping there, but a little bit slack there. Cambiasso, who's in midfield today. Been a big debate about Madrid's central midfield. Guti's tried, and really Beckham doesn't play that well with Guti. I think he finds himself doing too much defensive work. Last week Helguera played when they won in the Calderon, and that looked like a good, better partnership. But with Mejía suffering muscle problems and Pavón being suspended after getting sent off last week, Carlos Queiroz has decided that Helguera is going to go back into defence, and he's gone, interestingly, for Cambiasso, a player who will probably be leaving the club in the summer, whose contract expires in June, rather than Guti or Borja, the youngster.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a slightly controversial decision in the heart of the club, because, of course, Cambiasso doesn't fulfil that model of the president of superstars and players from who have been brought up at the club.
Here come Madrid again. It's Luís Figo this time, looking to take on Ronald Davids, just skipping past him. Good battling there by Giovanni van Bronckhorst, concedes a corner, which Beckham will be taking.
No hair, David Beckham in
New look for David Beckham, exactly. He came back, he was in England at the beginning of the week for a party with Victoria, and he came back with his hair shaven off. Whether that was in penance or not, nobody knows.
Oh, I wonder if it was to try and prevent what happened last week happening to him again, when the Atletico Madrid players spent the match pulling his ponytail.
Which is a bit naughty, isn't it? But it's nice warm weather now in Spain, as everyone in shirt sleeves in the stand. Probably a good idea to get your head shaved. Here's Solari to Roberto Carlos. That's a good cross from Roberto Carlos.
But it might have gone out.
But it's already curled out for a goal kick.
Yeah, we were saying before, Paul, that there have been some unfortunate comments in the Spanish press. There is
Beckham.
In the Spanish press about Ronaldinho this week, coming from an unnamed source at the very top of the club, who claimed that Real Madrid didn't buy Ronaldinho because he was too ugly, and that with someone like that, they couldn't really advertise products and sell products. Something which personally I disagree with. I think he's an excellent.
Seen half of the adverts that Ronaldinho's taken part in the last few weeks.
They're fantastic adverts, and he's got real charisma. What he doesn't have, of course, is the looks of David Beckham. There was the comment from this Real Madrid high up person at Real Madrid, we don't actually know who it was that with David Beckham, the whole world wants to be with us. With Ronaldinho, that wouldn't have happened. I'll tell you what, though, on the pitch, anyone who turns down Ronaldinho is an idiot.
Puyol there stretching, couldn't quite get a foot on that, but the ball going right through to that man, Victor Valdés, the youngster who's basically made the Barca goalkeeping jersey his own this season. Well won that header there by Raúl Bravo. There's Xavi Hernandez, who has really also come into his own since the arrival of Edgar Davids. He's been able to push forward. Xavi is able to do a more attacking role and to find those gaps in opposing defences.
Yeah, his change of position has been absolutely vital, and as you say, he's been liberated by the arrival of Edgar Davids, so that enabled him to play far further forward, where his passing and his vision, particularly those little angled passes through the gaps, have been so important for Barcelona, and particularly for this man, Saviola, who's really benefited from that change.
Certainly has. Saviola, before when Patrick Kluivert, who's on the substitutes bench, were playing Barca, were hitting longer balls to Kluivert, who's playing with his back to goal. Pushing Xavi forward means they can really look to push the ball into spaces and rely more on pace.
Yeah, the scurrying runs, the ability to carve through the defence.
People like Saviola, Ronaldinho, of course, and Luis Garcia, who's unfortunately just picked up a late training injury, as we said earlier on, have really benefited in the last second half of the season. Luis Garcia, especially, who looked a little boy lost in the first few months back at the club.
Oh, well played.
Here is Xavi. Saviola, who's yet to score against Real Madrid. Overmars. Good turn there. Not a bad crossover. Well cut out, though, by Cambiasso. Zidane. Turning inside, Cocu. Raúl just caught offside there.
I think he was.
The advantage. Saviola again and Figo. Well, the crowd appealings were throwing for Madrid.
I think the crowd are right, Paul. To be honest, I think Figo bashed that against Saviola's legs and it went out. The crowd not too impressed.
It certainly looked like one, didn't it?
Yeah.
Here's Davids. Again, Mr. Pérez Burrull penalising Real Madrid for that little late tackle there on Edgar Davids. Frank Rijkaard, the Barcelona coach, who's done such a good job this second half of the season. There were a couple of times when he looked as if he was one defeat away from losing his job, but I think he's basically pretty much assured of staying out here next year.
Yeah, some credit too to the Barcelona president Laporta, who even when things were going badly,
Davids looking for Saviola. And Iker Casillas climbing well there.
Yeah, even when things were going badly, Joan Laporta, the Barcelona president, was insisting time and time again. Frank Rijkaard is staying. At one stage, I think just a couple of days before everyone expected Rijkaard to get the sack, he in fact turned around to the press and said, Rijkaard is a phenomenon. He will be our manager for the next, well, at least for the rest of his contract. And sure enough, Barcelona then started going on this great run.
Overmars, it's a good ball in from Reisiger, but Iker Casillas there with the edge of his 6-yard box to claim that, and that's an intelligent throw out to Raúl, who's playing as a lone forward tonight, really. Zidane pushing up and Solari giving a bit of balance to Madrid. Raúl is probably not at his best when he plays as the lead player.
Absolutely, he's not an out-and-out centre forward. He's not really a number 9.
It's Puyol being hassled by Raúl, in fact being fouled by Raúl. Pérez Burrull, a long way off the play there, but given the free kick. 78,000 people here in the Bernabéu tonight, absolutely sold out. In fact, I don't think any tickets even went on sale to the public.
No, none at all, none at all. Too many requests in there, too many. They knew obviously all the season ticket holders were going to turn up anyway.
Any spare tickets have gone to supporters, clubs, or to season ticket holders, or to guests, basically. If you got one in the street, it would probably, you'd have been paid 4 or 5 times over face value for this game.
Absolutely.
In fact, the game made even more desirable by the fact it's not actually being shown live in Spain. Open television, it's a pay-per-view game, so it's made it even more exciting to be here in the game tonight. I think people have been looking forward to this game for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. I know. And bizarrely enough as well, I mean, we were talking about Ronaldinho earlier. I know a couple of Madrid fans, season ticket holders here, who've been excited all year because of the possibility of seeing Ronaldinho. Crazy though that sounds. He's the guy they would love to have here, as well as all these other Galacticos.
Madrid building again. Zidane certainly to be inspired in a game like that. And that's not a bad ball there for Cambiasso. Esteban Cambiasso. Raúl collided with Puyol. Crowd asking for obstruction. Raúl doesn't look very happy about it, but you'd really want to see that one again. Let's have a look. Well, if anything, I think it's Raúl fouling Puyol in the other way around.
That was certainly my fault. It's a clever pass from Cambiasso, a very nice little angled ball. I think Raúl ran straight into Cambiasso.
It's a good ball there. Solari. Puyol. Pérez Burrull waving play on. I'm not so sure about that decision.
No, more Solari. Be interested to see that one again.
Well, 8 minutes here in the Bernabéu, and already we've got controversy as Puyol seemed to bundle over Santiago Solari as they jump for that bouncing ball. As it is, Pérez Burrull hasn't given anything, and Barcelona attacking through Marc Overmars. Overmars, well cut out. Cambiasso again, working back. Crowd voicing their disappointment on Pérez Burrull. Let's have a look at this one.
Well, I think it might have been a little, what the Spanish called a little rigorous if it had been given, but I tell you, it might have been enough.
Xavi, there's not a lot of Puyol jumps against him, doesn't get a lot of contact on the ball. What he doesn't do is he doesn't use his arms at all in the challenge.
No, that's true.
And there's Xavi having a right foot effort, that's 2 or 3 yards wide of Iker Casillas there. Wonder in instances like that how much the referees think about what happened last week, and if that really is pressuring them as well.
Perhaps, yeah.
There is Ronaldinho, yet really to get a decent touch of the ball. Davids. Here's Ronaldinho now. Lovely little inside pass to Van Bronckhorst. But Van Bronckhorst, Giovanni van Bronckhorst, just sending that little bit too far ahead of him. So with Helguera to clear that. As far as Zidane and Cambiasso has been very active so far. Setting away Figo on the right. It's Figo against that Van Bronckhorst, and well, Luís Figo. And gets the cross in.
Very well.
Brilliant clearance from Puyol. Roberto Carlos couldn't quite control that. Can Zidane? What did Zidane do there? And Roberto Carlos.
Well, they're all at it at the moment, but here comes Ronaldinho, another man who's... I think at the moment, so far, Míchel Salgado has stuck very close to Ronaldinho. And to be honest, in terms of man-to-man marking, Salgado is probably the best player Madrid can put on.
Definitely. He's quick, he's hard, he's good in the air, and he doesn't really take any prisoners at all.
Absolutely not.
Here's Zinedine Zidane inside to Roberto Carlos. Left foot shot there from the Madrid fullback. Didn't quite get the sort of contact on that he would have been looking for.
No, it turned out to be an absolutely dreadful
Let's
shot.
have a look at this little flick from Zidane again. Oh no, in fact, that's the Roberto Carlos shot.
Which wasn't quite what he intended.
There is Zidane, that was a great flick, Roberto Carlos. I wonder if he may have been a little bit better just trying to turn and shoot there rather than carry on the flick, but what a great little touch there from Zidane. Who has been looking a wee bit tired in recent games, but everybody is absolutely fired up for this game on on both sides.
Yeah, Zidane already has looked quite sharp a couple of times. Surprisingly so, because as you say, in the last few games he has looked very, very tired.
There is David Beckham with his hair freshly shorn or shaven.
Well, if he was a sheep, it would be shorn.
Great ball, Saviola! Can he control it? Ooh, Javier Saviola got in there behind Raúl Bravo. First just letting him down there, allowing Iker Casillas to gratefully clutch onto it. Foul there. Figo brought down in the middle of the field. And Bronckhorst taking his marking job all the way across the pitch there. Let's have a look at this. Not much question about that one.
Yeah, I think it was just sort of falling into him, wasn't he?
Here come Madrid again. Figo. Lovely little dummy there, Zinedine Zidane. That's a first-time cross. Well blocked by Oleguer. Corner for Real Madrid. 12.5 minutes gone on the clock. It seems it was just gone flying by. It's a corner. That's not a bad corner again.
Well, Paul, I'll tell you what. Raúl Bravo probably should have scored.
There he is, that man, Raúl Bravo, got in there. Didn't quite get the contact he'd have been looking on. And let's have a look at this. That's a great corner.
Because he didn't have to move a great...
Couple of yards there. He's inside the penalty spot. He's got 2 yards of space there. Jumps well, but doesn't get that contact that he'd be looking for.
And he knows it. He knows it. It's a magnificent corner from David Beckham. Raúl Bravo only really needed to take a step back, and I think he was just trying too hard to guide it down towards the post. Ended up skewing it wide. Yeah, I think he'll be very, very disappointed with that.
Madrid so far been the better of the chances, it has to be said. Possible penalty claimant, and Solari went tumbling down. That Raúl Bravo header. Shot from Solari in the first 30 seconds is a good start from Madrid, and I think they really need to show, because they've not been on great form in recent games. If you remember 2 weeks ago, they lost their home here 3-0 to Osasuna. They were a little bit fortunate against Atletico Madrid. They really need to stamp some authority on this game.
They do, and as you say, they've not been great. The press has started talking about a crisis in Madrid. Obviously, crisis when you're still in with a chance of winning the league. It's not really a crisis, but things have looked pretty poor.
Saviola.
Oh, he's done very well there.
Done well. Hassled by Cambiasso. 2 young Argentinians there. Van Bronckhorst to Ronaldinho. Little flick from Ronaldinho there. Saviola, here's Ronaldinho again. Good battling from Figo.
We've seen that. I mean, I think actually Salgado was very unlucky to get penalised, but I think we've seen there that Salgado will stick very, very close to Ronaldinho. Every chance he gets, he'll be in there.
Let's have a look at this one.
I don't actually think there's a foul there.
A bit unlucky there.
Yeah, very unlucky. Well, he thinks it's funny at least.
Puyol to Xavi to Reisiger. It's a good ball from Reisiger to Marc Overmars. Little space there. Overmars looking for a good cross. It's a ball back, looking for Davids. Intelligent pass, but not quite well directed. And there,
David Beckham did very, very well covering off Davids.
He certainly did. It's a good break there. Intelligent ball from Overmars, but just not quite in the right place there for Edgar Davids. It's Xavi. Ronaldinho trying a little flick with his chest. Ball's won by Figo, blocked by Davids. Was it handball? No, says the referee. Or at least not intentional. Solari, all tight there in the Madrid half. Raúl Bravo. Intelligent ball out from Zidane. Good ball from Zidane. And there's Míchel Salgado just taking the ball over the halfway line. 3 players around him. Salgado has still got Zidane free. Zidane onto Cambiasso. Good ball from Cambiasso to Solari. Solari not quite reading Raúl's intentions there with the ball running back to Victor Valdés. Santiago Solari, as we say, is always the first change for Real Madrid. And if anybody's injured, Solari goes in on the left, or in the middle, or at left back,
or up front, or wherever he goes. And wherever he goes, he plays very, very well. I think I've only seen him play poorly once this year when he was played at left back up in Valladolid. And he got absolutely destroyed, but fundamentally because he had no support from midfield at all.
Davids keeping the ball in the far side now. It's a nasty little tackle there from behind.
Well, actually, I think Beckham's a little unlucky because Beckham chased him all the way. I mean, when you're challenged from behind, it's always difficult. It's always risky, but I think Beckham got the ball there.
I don't think there's any malice in that challenge from Beckham. We tend not to see Beckham make malicious challenges. I think sometimes it's just. Let's have a look at this.
So I think that's the ball. I mean, it goes through.
It's a second. It's his right leg that just seems to follow through though and does the damage. And yeah, Pérez Burrull hasn't booked him. I think free kick is about the limit of it.
I think that's a surprisingly good decision from a Spanish referee. I think normally Spanish referees, whenever there's a challenge like that, they
having a little laugh there with Ronaldinho.
I don't know what language they're having a laugh in.
The language of football, Sid.
Edgar Davids certainly seems to have felt it.
So you compare the atmosphere in the ground today with the one that was 2 weeks ago as we were beaten by Osasuna when it was quiet. There were people booing after 20 minutes. Today the whole Santiago Bernabéu stadium is buzzing.
It is a really, really good atmosphere tonight.
It's almost a sea of white. It's as if the ice age had started here.
Only in nice weather.
Only in nice weather. If it wasn't for
25 degrees.
25 degrees, yes, thank you very much for reminding me of that one. Zidane, that's a little bit slack there. Roberto Carlos conceding an unnecessary corner, which Xavi is moving across to take.
Yeah, in front of the only bit of the ground that's not a sea of white, where most of the fans among the ultras are wearing black shirts, as they tend to do.
Xavi Hernandez with a corner for Barcelona. Here's Xavi, it's not a bad corner.
It's a very good corner.
Ooh, Ronaldinho gets up, but like Raúl Bravo at the other end, couldn't quite direct that header between the posts.
Yeah, it's a better jump than Raúl Bravo's. He needed to jump a lot more. It's one of the amazing things about Ronaldinho. He's a creative playmaker. He's a genius with the ball, and yet he's a real battler as well. He's a fantastic athlete. I mean, if we get the chance to have a close-up shot from him some stage, you see the strength of his thighs is frightening.
He's absolutely
huge. He really can jump, as we've just seen there.
He's certainly built like something very strong. Cambiasso winning that header, doing well, setting Solari away. Here is Solari, Raúl hugging the end of the line, trying to avoid the offside. As it is pulling players inside, giving space to Luís Figo. That's a good cross from Figo. Rüçber, full stretch, just knocking that one away from Roberto Carlos, and Overmars right back in defence. Done a good job there, the Dutchman. Don't know if Rijkaard a bit over seeing him juggling.
Tell you what, Saviola's away on this
Saviola is now pulling off to the right, taking that pass from Xavi. And here's Ronaldinho. Good tackle from Míchel Salgado. Notices Pérez Burrull.
Salgado jumps in the air and waves his fist. I actually think Salgado is right. I think he's a little unlucky there.
I think every Madrid player raised their arms in protest at that one. There you can see Figo having a little word. I don't know if there's a lot of contact on the ball there, though, in fairness. I think it's probably a correct decision.
But just.
Only just.
Borderline, wasn't it?
Well, dangerous free kick to concede here. We've got Ronaldinho, who's a set-piece specialist. We've got Van Bronckhorst, who's very good with his left foot. Overmars can strike a good ball from there. Xavi. But they've got to get it past that man, Iker Casillas, first.
I think the position it's in, slightly to the right-hand side of the area, implies a left footer. But we've seen this so many times before. When Ronaldinho takes this kind of run up, it means he's taking it, unless he's trying to fool them. Ronaldinho takes a very careful run. It's almost like a field goal taker.
1, 2, 3.
And there's a sideways run. It's a big sideways run as well.
Wall is very, very close, though, isn't it?
I expect that to swing round Figo's side of the wall, maybe to this near post.
I think that wall is way too close, though.
Yeah, well, the Pérez Burrull agrees with you.
It's meant to be 10 yards.
Telling them to go back now, anyway.
Well,
maybe not so much the wall as Roberto Carlos, who's just hanging around on the edge of it.
There is Ronaldinho thinking about it. Looking at
that wall's creeping forward every minute.
100%. That wall is about 5 yards away. Roberto Carlos.
Corner.
Jumping forward. That wall was about 4 yards away when Ronaldinho took that free kick.
Yeah, it crept and crept. And Pérez Burrull had already pushed them back once. And they went, yeah, okay. They went back, and as soon as he looked away, I said, little pigeon steps, bit by bit. And Ronaldinho couldn't get it over them.
Absolutely no room to work with that.
No, none whatsoever.
Xavi taking the corner. Well cleared, though. Once again, Roberto Carlos getting the head on that. He's the smallest man on the pitch, probably, but he got that with his head. Rüçber here on the near side for Barcelona. Once again to Xavi. To Rüçber, looking good, Barcelona, the last few minutes. That's a good ball. Good clearance as well, though, by Raúl Bravo. Davids, Edgar Davids, like a terrier in midfield. Xavi again. Roberto Carlos. Just catching Xavi, but once again, no intention. And Pérez, Burrull, same play on. Good ball from Beckham. Just getting a little bit too much flight on it, though, and that's over on the far side. That man, Míchel Salgado, couldn't reach it. Barcelona free kick. Nearly 22 minutes here in the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium in the great classic, the game of the millennium, as they're calling it here. Still Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 0. You're watching it live in high definition on World Sport. Zinedine Zidane, out to Figo, back with Zidane. Brilliant skill there. Figo going down. Pérez, Burrull doesn't want to know anything about it.
That was a dive.
It's not going anything
right.
there.
That was a dive from Cambiasso. Surprising to see someone like Cambiasso dive, to be honest.
Saviola. Overmars. Chance once again to use his pace. Inside to Saviola. Xavi. Crowd don't like it. I don't know if they're booing Barcelona's possession or Pérez, Burrull.
Better both, I would guess.
Xavi. Ronaldinho. Oh, it's an intelligent pass, but it's well read though by Bravo. Iker Casillas clearing. Barca getting some good possession these last few minutes.
They are. It's just not quite falling for them to have a real genuine chance though. I almost wonder if Barcelona are a little vulnerable with this much possession to get caught on the break. But they are certainly starting to turn the screw a little bit.
Victor Valdés now taking all the time in the world. Possession's the name of the game for Barcelona. Doesn't really want to have to hit that one long. He has done though. There's Ronaldinho losing out to Helguera. Back with Van Bronckhorst. Saviola to Ronaldinho out on the left. Intelligent ball from Ronaldinho all the way across to Reçber. That's not great control from Michael Reçber. Just took that a little bit long and forced himself to hurry into the pass.
Yeah, it's interesting, Paul, just how deep Real Madrid are playing, and not just how deep they're playing, but actually how tight their lines are. By which I mean that they've got the four at the back who are playing very deep and very flat, very straight with each other. Roberto Carlos is normally a little bit in front, but he's not. He's playing as an orthodox left back at the moment. And Beckham and Cambiasso are sat just in front, giving Barcelona, even though they've got the possession, giving them very, very little chance to actually create space and find anything. We saw Saviola pick the ball up there and have absolutely nothing but white shirts in front of him.
There's Beckham. Good ball over to Figo. Luís Figo, good work on the overlap there from Míchel Salgado, but it's read by Davids. Oof, Míchel Salgado, I think that is a foul and there's no complaints about that.
I'll tell you, that probably should be a booking.
Mr. Pérez, Burrull keeping his hands in his pockets for the meanwhile. The thing about Roberto Carlos today, that's a bit of a nasty tackle there from Míchel Salgado.
I think that's probably a booking.
Is that obviously someone like Overmars, who is lightning, on the few occasions that he's fully fit, he's probably one of the quickest players in the league.
He's virtually never fit, but when he is, he's very,
you
very
can't
fast.
allow him to exploit any space.
No, you can't let him have space behind, so Madrid need to play that little deeper.
Xavi has a lot of things there. It's Beckham, David Beckham! Just wide of Valdés' right-hand post. That was a good chance for Madrid, actually.
It was. Actually, David Beckham didn't get as good a contact as I expected. I also expected him to open his body out and play a little bit harder and higher with the instep, with the instep rather than hitting it with his laces as he did.
He had Figo on the outside there, Beckham as well.
Decent effort, but didn't hit it quite as well as I expected him to.
Ronaldinho getting a flick on, but there's no one there except Raúl Bravo. Sends that one back to Casillas. That's a nasty ball for Casillas, just bouncing on his wrong foot. Keeper as well, actually, siding that one out for a throw-in.
Yeah.
It's a little bit rueful there, Iker Casillas, but he's a right-footed keeper, and that ball just bounced up in front of him as well. Carlos Queiroz on the Madrid bench looking nervous.
I think the whole stadium's a little nervous, Paul. This is so important for both sides.
Especially with Valencia playing later on tonight. And a game that they could quite easily lose as well against Bilbao.
Oh, absolutely.
Against Athletic, it's a difficult game for them.
I think most of Madrid's players were saying after they beat Atletico Madrid last week that they thought it was a great result to keep themselves within a point of Valencia, depending on what would happen the following Sunday, the following day, which in the end Valencia drew 2-2, because they were pretty much counting on Valencia not winning in San Mamés tonight against Atletico Bilbao. It's a terribly, terribly difficult trip, that. Madrid themselves lost their 4-2.
Absolutely hammered they were.
Yeah, they were.
David, yeah, and this time, Pérez Burrull blowing a free kick at the other end of the pitch. David's disagreeing with that one.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but this is David Beckham territory.
David Beckham territory, it's Roberto Carlos fit territory, it's...
Yeah, I think that's a foul.
Zidane territory, it's Figo territory. 6 yards outside the Barcelona penalty area. This is David Beckham has not scored a direct free kick in the Santiago Bernabéu all season.
What a time to do it. If he was to do it tonight.
There are lots of English journalists keeping their fingers crossed at this very moment. 27 minutes gone in the Santiago Bernabéu stadium, and there is that man, David Beckham. Literally.
I don't think there's too much doubt that it's going to be Beckham. He's the one that's really carrying over the ball. Roberto Carlos is behind there, but I think this is Beckham territory.
This is in Beckham's favourite position. Here he is, David Beckham. Beckham over the bar.
Yeah, in the end, quite a long way over, I think.
And
that guy there scored it. He's happy with himself. And he punches it back.
Very generous of him. Little nod of the head there from Beckham. Shake of the head.
Actually, that's quite a long way over in the end.
Yeah, he picked it, he slipped afterwards. I wonder if he just slipped just as he took the free kick. Doesn't look very happy with things there.
No. Maybe he needs to change his boots.
Once again, Ronaldinho up well with the header. And Helguera doing well. Did a good job on Ronaldinho so far. Madrid really denied him the space that he looks for.
Yeah, I sort of expect Ronaldinho should perhaps drift inside a little bit to get away from Míchel Salgado, look for a little more space. I'm sure he will as the game progresses. At the moment, I've been surprised how much he stayed over on that left wing. Because he's so decisive that he really should be all over the pitch.
Both coaches going for a tactical decision this evening. That's not a bad ball, well controlled by Reçber to Xavi. He's got Reçber with him. Chooses Reçber instead of Overmars. Looking for Overmars to make the run there, Reçber. Instead, tried to pick out Saviola, but had the ball robbed by Zidane.
Yeah, I think both Xavi and Reçber were a little unsure of their ideas there, both of them, when they got the ball.
Here come Madrid again, but losing it quickly. It's bouncing about there. Davids to Ronaldinho. Now he has a bit of space. Ronaldinho taking on Beckham. Ronaldinho!
Good effort.
Casillas supposed to punch that one out.
Yeah.
Wound that shot up from absolutely nowhere, Ronaldinho. Here's Davids. Pushed that one a bit far, though. Allowed a bit of control for Míchel Salgado. Was there obstruction? Yes, there was indeed, says Pérez Burrull. Free kick for Real Madrid. Salgado and Ronaldinho having a little handshake. Beckham taking the free kick. Sending that one long. Cocu jumping against Zidane. The ball bouncing around in no one's land there. Xavi there quickly. Slipped by Cambiasso, but it's still Xavi Hernandez. He's got Overmars outside him. There is Overmars on the ball. Marc Overmars thinks about taking on Roberto Carlos. Thinks better of it. That's a good ball in there, and Ronaldinho. I think you've got to put down to good defending there from Míchel Salgado, who got himself in between the Brazilian and the ball, because that was a dangerous cross from Overmars. Yeah,
Overmars always looks so vexed about things. He actually produced a very good cross there. Ronaldinho crosses himself. Couldn't quite reach the cross from Marc Overmars. As you say, Míchel Salgado has tracked Ronaldinho really very, very well indeed this half.
Another long free kick from Iker van Bronckhorst, winning that battle against Figo. Figo taking a little bit of a dive there, hoping for the free kick. Saviola, nice ball there. Xavi Hernandez, and Iker down at full stretch, holds on to that one though, Iker Casillas, and that's important because there was Saviola, the rabbit.
Yeah, Xavi didn't actually get very good contact on it, to be honest. He looked at it was again as if he wasn't completely sure about his options. But I tell you, Barcelona starting to get on top a little bit. But we're talking about Real Madrid.
Yeah, Madrid, unfortunately, without Ronaldo for them, and sometimes Madrid can do this, not play well, and Ronaldo will pop up and score. Yeah. But remember, Ronaldo isn't on the pitch today. There are 24 goals in the Primera Liga. And how many points has he won for Madrid this year, popping up from nowhere to score?
I feel a little sorry for Ronaldo. At the start of the season, he promised he'd score 35 goals. He was well on course for it. He's had a couple of injuries that's ruined it for him. He might not make it now. And yet his goal scoring record this year has been absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. And he has been the one player, I think, who's been responsible for Real Madrid's title challenge.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
More so than your Beckhams or your Zidanes, really.
Much more so, without a shadow of a doubt.
Good play there from Cambiasso. Done very well there, the Argentinian. Picks up Míchel Salgado. Salgado's got Figo outside, and there is Luís Figo. Got to just get deflected.
Oh, that's a brilliant clearance.
So Carles Puyol.
My goodness, that was a fantastic
That handball.
clearance.
Just going against Edgar Davids' hands there. Doesn't do much about that, Davids, but another free kick. This is probably Roberto Carlos territory. The other one was Beckham's land. In Beckham's land, I think Roberto Carlos will fancy his chances here.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a long way out even for Roberto Carlos, but I think what he'll try and do is keep it low and very, very hard, and then perhaps Madrid will look for the rebound off Victor Valdés, especially if Roberto Carlos can get this to bounce fairly early. Mind you, Beckham looks to be looking at it, you know, and it wouldn't be the first time we've seen him score from this far out.
There is
I would have
Roberto
thought
Carlos
Beckham would
on his
probably
screen,
prefer it from the other side. When they're both over this.
There's Valdés. Not quite sure we're taking this. I'm pretty sure it'll be Roberto Carlos. It is Roberto Carlos. Valdés.
That's what I mean, if Valdés had dropped there, I think this is part of the idea. Is you get three men straight in on the keeper. Not only do they get in his vision, but they wait for him to spill it. And if you hit it hard, it's very difficult to trap that.
Very good handling there from Valdés. He bounced in front of him, and he did very well to keep both hands on that, clutch it to his chest.
Yeah, and we've seen tonight the pitch does look very lively, a little bit hard actually.
Because it's been pretty warm and sunny in Madrid the last 4 or 5 days, and if it's not been watered heavily.
Absolutely, exactly.
It means it's quick and hard. Zidane. It's a good ball.
Raúl
Figo,
miles offside. Raúl went so early.
Yeah, it made it easy.
So early,
made it very easy for the Barca defenders.
He
there.
did, yeah. And he went so early, and Figo in the end had virtually no choice but to play it to him anyway. But I think he probably played it half knowing that it wasn't going to make it to him.
Oof, a bit tidy there, Iván Helguera. Free kick now at the other end now. Barcelona taking it quickly.
Well, I don't know what's going on there. The referee's called it back. I'm not entirely clear why. Not at all clear what the reason for that was.
It's a very intelligent free kick. I mean, if somebody had asked for a wall there from Barcelona for the distance, then surely he should have been booking somebody according to the rules.
Otherwise, he shouldn't be. And if he hadn't, then the referee shouldn't be. Yeah.
As it is, it's Xavi.
Did it hit Helguera's hand?
I think it hit Helguera's hand rather than Helguera putting his hand out, though. A couple of timid appeals from the Barca defence.
Edgar Davids did very, very well there.
Chasing back alongside Luís Figo.
Is the referee? I think the referee may have given a foul.
No, throw in.
Little gesture from the ref there.
I'm not sure if Figo didn't have a couple of elbows, though, Davids, before that.
Davids did very, very well.
No, throw in. Madrid trying to take a free kick. Mr. Pérez, Burrull.
I think Beckham quite fancied the idea of slinging that one into the box.
Solari, well blocked by Puyol, who concedes a corner for Real Madrid. There is David Beckham going down there to the near side. Well, they've looked reasonably dangerous on corners, Madrid, so
they've
far.
looked very dangerous so far.
So let's see what they can do. Got Roberto Carlos supporting him. There is Beckham. That's a dangerous one. Valdés gets a good punch on that under pressure. Saviola helping clear it. And there, Davids only as far as Salgado. And that is going to bounce over for a goal kick.
For a minute there, I thought Victor Valdés was actually playing a little bit of a risky game, letting that one bounce.
Yeah. It just shows how hard the pitch is. That bounced probably 2 yards over the bar.
Yeah,
incredible.
Whereas when I saw Valdés backing off, I thought, hang on a minute.
It would have been the goal of the millennium if that had gone in, I think. As it is, still 38 minutes gone in the Santiago Bernabéu. It's still Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 0. Everything to play for in this magnificent football ground. Packed to capacity, 78,000 people, 800 police watching over things today. Really a very, very big display of support, of security. The Madrid press area is full. There's probably about 500 journalists who got accreditation. It's definitely the game of the season.
It's enormous.
And not just for the game, what is between this rivalry between these two clubs, but for the outcome that could be for the league at the end of the day. Here come Madrid again. Figo, Zidane, Zinedine Zidane, Valdés. That's a terrible miss.
Oh,
but that's a great save. Roberto Carlos.
Oh my goodness!
How did that not
go in? The ball's
in?
still in play.
Still in play. Figo's done well, Valdés. Well, Victor Valdés chose the wrong moment there to have an attack of the Sheikhs.
Well, my goodness. Valdés made a dreadful mess of the first shot, but what an amazing recovery to get it back.
I really thought
and then
Raúl
Roberto Carlos absolutely leathered that.
Was it?
And Carlos Puyol put his head in the way.
Puyol on the line. Still not clear. Oh! Just shaving past the post. I think that went off someone's knee. I think that's Figo's knee. Goodness gracious. Well, that's been a minute and a half of high drama in the Bernabéu. See how it starts. Here's the corner.
It's Luís, isn't it?
Figo, I think, who just gets a touch on that, full stretch. Here's the one before. Valdés stops it, really makes a mess of it. What a brilliant reaction there to save from Raúl. There you see him leaping again, Roberto Carlos.
And it's a miracle that, I tell you, it's a miracle that Pujol's head didn't come off with it.
Just so well done,
that's a great block. That's a great block.
And here Roberto Carlos, I thought that's in a Puyol. Goodness gracious. That would have killed a few brain cells, I think, there for Puyol.
Yeah. Although he does have that kind of protective mop around his head, which may have helped.
They can pass it on at the other end. Xavi. Marc Overmars, absolute drama. This game is taking off. Overmars, doing well here, Overmars. Not a great cross, though. Raúl Bravo able to clear it. Here's Puyol. Battling against Raúl. Raúl winning that battle. And again, doing very well, Raúl against Puyol. Puyol barging him over. Stumbling over him. The result of that is a Real Madrid free kick. 2 or 3 yards outside the box.
It's a great position for Beckham.
Beckham.
Madrid will load the far post and Beckham will sling it in right.
Let's have a look at this Puyol. Yeah, well, just nudging back Raúl in the back a little bit. Maybe Raúl's halfway on the way down when that happened.
I almost wonder if Raúl was leaning in when he fell. But you're right. I mean, before
Puyol was barging him all the way down. Did really well there. That man Raúl.
This is a very, very dangerous position.
You can see Beckham whipping this one in low, getting an in-swinger on
the far post, and Madrid will overload that far post.
All it needs is a little touch here, or even the near post. Beckham, there we said.
Oh my goodness!
I do not believe that. That is absolutely incredible. That just happened so quickly. I think some of the Madrid players are saying that actually crossed the line. It'd be interesting to see what on earth happened. As it is, Madrid keeping the pressure on. Pérez, Burrull going to have a word with his linesman. Let's have a look at this. There's a booking there. I don't think that goes in.
Is that Figo header?
I don't think you can say clearly if that goes in. Let's have a look. Beckham whips that one in as we said he would. Valdés gets a hand on that. Figo heads it.
That's a brilliant save.
And Valdés once again gets a great save, and there Van Bronckhorst clears it. I don't think it may or may not have crossed the line. If I was laying my life on that decision, I'd say it didn't.
Yeah,
but it was so quick. I don't think the linesman, who would also have had Valdés's body between him and the ball, there's no way you could call that in.
Virtually impossible to tell. I mean,
oh, that's good work from Solari. Asking for obstruction, not given.
Figo was adamant. That's the one thing we can say. Figo, who of course was stood right in front of him, was absolutely adamant. And obviously footballers are very good at appearing adamant in front of the referee, but Figo was adamant that had gone in.
Adamant, but some of his records in the 80s. Barca, Phillip Cocu foul there just allows Barca to breathe easy for a couple of seconds. I'm sure they'll take as long as possible with this. Yeah, Raúl barging in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that the foul there is from Raúl, not the other way around. I think Raúl does that very intelligently. He does it very often.
Did it against Valencia.
Leaning in, exactly, and actually drawing the foul so often he gets it his own way.
Barca, they're rattled at the moment. They
were on top just 10 minutes ago, and now
Madrid just had those two absolute incredible goal-mouth scrambles, and somehow Barcelona have survived them. As it is, here's the ball with Overmars.
And both of them, Paul, came from slightly ropey handling from Victor Valdés.
Right, that's got to be
on both occasions, he redeemed himself with amazing saves, but risky.
There's Cambiasso, has got Roberto Carlos on the outside. Madrid looking to make the advantage tell. That's a good ball. Van Bronckhorst just getting a header on there as far as Míchel Salgado. Let him alone after Figo got booked earlier a minute ago. Not a good ball though from Frey. Wasn't a bad one. And there, Raúl just getting a look for the deflection. Over the bar. Into Valdés. Got a goal kick for Barcelona. Really gave Míchel Salgado a little bit too much space there, Barcelona. Let's have a look at this again. Figo gets a header on it. Valdés palms that one out. I don't think that's over the line.
Very, very difficult to tell. It's very difficult to tell. Helguera went up with his hands up, and so did Figo. Figo was the most adamant of the two, as opposed to Adam and.
Offside, Raúl just stepping back from an offside position to collect that ball. Helguera. Wasted. Once again, Madrid getting the possession now. It's really been a game of swings and roundabouts. Each side threatens to get on top, and the balance swings the other way. Barca are on top. Now it's Madrid, and that looks like it could be... Let's have a look what Mr. Pérez Burrull gives.
I think there might be a card for this one.
Free kick for Real Madrid.
It's Helguera.
Yeah, and I think he wouldn't have
caught Beckham's right foot, didn't he? Just
missed the ball.
It looked like Beckham was going to get away with it. Was just going to be able to jump enough.
Missed the ball. Helguera made sure Beckham didn't get away from. I think a yellow card would not have been unjustified there.
No, I think there probably should have been a yellow card there. Raúl is furious. I think he's still talking about the earlier one, the one that possibly went over the line, which we can't possibly tell from the angle we're at.
Roberto Carlos wanted to take the free kick a bit earlier, waiting for that ball to go back a bit deeper. Once again, Beckham and Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos fires that one in. That's not a bad one. Oof, and that just missed Figo, who's lurking on the far post. Corner for Real Madrid. Barca, I think it's a goal kick. Taking it quickly, Madrid. That's sharp thinking. Zidane. It's robbed by Overmars, and as far as Figo, though. Here's Figo looking to get a shooting position. It's done well. Zidane. Zinedine Zidane stepping on the ball, thinking about what to do, conjuring some magic, the Frenchman. Crosses that into Solari. Solari blocked by Reçber. Still Solari, though, and Reçber. Michael Reçber getting that vital block in there. Another corner for Real Madrid.
Madrid really turning the screw.
Minute and a half before the break. Madrid looking for that.
And how many times have we seen Madrid score just before the break?
Looking for that goal they probably think this pressure deserves. And this time it's Zidane gets a flick header on, just far wide of the Barca post. Well, these last 5 or 6 minutes have been all Real Madrid, and I think Carlos Queiroz and his players will be wondering how on earth they're not taking the lead here. Just look at this last one. Good corner. Zidane just gets a flick on and crying out for somebody to attack him, to attack the far post there.
Absolutely, absolutely. We really needed someone on the back post, but
Barca breathing again. Ronaldinho impressed very hard by Míchel Salgado, forcing Ronaldinho to play it back to Van Bronckhorst. Giovanni van Bronckhorst into Carles Puyol. Puyol to Reçber. Little breathing space here for Michael Reçber to Marc Overmars. Cocu, 4 Madrid players around him, really motivated tonight, Real Madrid. It's a good ball though from Reçber. Xavi Hernandez making an intelligent run around the back of the defence. He's got Overmars. That's just taking a little bit too long there, perhaps. Overmars. Davids. Oof, terrible shot, but not a bad pass. Ends up lasting. Falling to Ronaldinho. What's he going to do? Davids, that's a bit better. But straight at Iker Casillas. We're into injury time now. What has absolutely been a
well, there's not a moment to think at the moment.
Heart-stopping 45 minutes of football, especially the last 20 minutes. End-to-end, Real Madrid have had chances, Barca have had chances. Here's Luís Figo, into the side, netting. How this game has absolutely taken off, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, Pérez Burrull probably given us all time to breathe by blowing the half-time whistle. 45 minutes of absolutely pulsating football here in the Santiago Bernabéu. Barcelona started off down, Madrid got on top, Barca got on top, Madrid are on top.
Off him that the ball bounced up onto the crossbar on the second one as well. So Raúl's been in there, it just hasn't quite fallen dead right for him yet, and he's looked a little bit off. As much as anything else, what's really been striking is how often Raúl's drifted into offside positions. And actually, as you said when we were looking at the stats there, Pérez Burrull has not given as many offside decisions as he might have done if he'd been watching Raúl a little more closely. As it's turned out, none of those have been major decisions anyway.
No, exactly. There's Javier Saviola, who's yet to score against Madrid, sorry, the little Barcelona striker who's had a good second half of the season. Edgar Davids
putting his specs back on. I like to see that.
Yeah.
I like to see a footballer in specs. It makes the rest of us four eyes feel much better about ourselves.
Well, indeed. Pérez Burrull, the referee from Cantabria on the right, is having a few words with Roberto Carlos, probably explaining some of the decisions. A couple of decisions he gave didn't leave Madrid over happy, but I think possibly one of the most controversial earlier on was a possible penalty against Solari after Puyol. Was it Puyol, I think, jumped into him a little bit?
Yeah, it was one of those that's so borderline that you can kind of see it going either way. Probably in a game of this magnitude, most referees would quite frankly not have the nerve.
Right, well, Madrid, especially after recent discussions about the refereeing question, Madrid are underway, playing the ball around the back. It's Roberto Carlos to Zidane, Zinedine Zidane linking with Roberto Carlos. Here is Roberto Carlos storming through, and vital clearance there from Helguera. Well, they started the first half with a great chance, Madrid, and they started the second the same way. That really was a steaming run from Roberto Carlos. I'm quite surprised he didn't actually shoot.
I thought he should have shot, to be honest, especially the way he hit.
As it is, Madrid still keeping the pressure on Zidane. Advantage given, and there is Beckham just firing that over the crossbar. Zinedine Zidane picking himself up, having a little ruthful smile. Carlos Puyol just bringing him down. I don't think there's any great... Well, actually, looks like a real dive there from Zidane.
Like a really, almost quite embarrassing dive, that. It's unlike Zidane as well. He's not one of those players who tends to dive. A bit of a surprise, that.
Ronaldinho once again with Míchel Salgado right on top of him. No space at all for Ronaldinho tonight. And there, Roberto Carlos storming in and hammering that ball out for throw-in. Which Van Bronckhorst has taken quickly to Phillip Cocu. Cocu, it's a good ball to Saviola if he can control it. But Bravo. Well done, Bravo. I was going to say, getting back in the right place at the right time. Just to steer that back to Casillas. Now Madrid attacking again with Solari. Doing well, Solari to hold off Overmars. Cambiasso. Round of applause for the Madrid fans as they team keeping possession. Figo just skips past Ronaldinho. Still Luís Figo, little bicycle kick. And then a pass out to Míchel Salgado. Solari can have a go on his left foot. Solari does well, and Valdés holds on to that one. I
think there might have been just a little jump in the hearts of the Barcelona defence there as that ball went to Valdés. We saw him hold one very well like that earlier on, but of course those two chances before the end of the half.
I wonder if Carlos Queiroz has passed the word for some of his players to just try Valdés out with a few long shots.
Yeah, I wonder if he has, because it would make sense.
It's David Beckham. The atmosphere building here in this Santiago Bernabéu. 78,000 people, and Phillip Cocu.
I think Cocu was a little unlucky there.
Just penalised for a foot up there in the challenge.
But he's let himself get caught out.
Yes, Figo, that's a good tackle there from Van Bronckhorst.
Oh,
that's a poor decision, I think.
That is a poor decision. I thought that was an excellent tackle from Van Bronckhorst. And actually, Van Bronckhorst was forced into it because Cocu was complaining about the previous decision and Madrid was sprinting away. I'm not sure that's a foul.
Let's have a look at this.
There's absolutely no doubt that he gets the ball there.
Just because you hurt someone doesn't mean it's a foul.
Yeah.
As Van Bronckhorst says there, I got the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's very unlucky.
So Roberto Carlos and Beckham once again taking position over the ball. Beckham thinks about taking it quickly, doesn't. But Roberto Carlos fancies chances.
Well,
it's all a fall.
Having seen the way those two chances came before the half-time.
35, 40 yards.
But if he hits this on the bounce, we've seen what Victor Valdés has...
It's difficult for keepers at the best of times. It is Roberto Carlos. That's a storming shot. That is an absolute pile driver from the Brazilian. And a good response there from Valdés. Tipping that ball over.
Tipping it over in a rather unorthodox sort of way. His arms were all over the place, but he got it away, which is what really matters.
It's the corner curled in. Oof. Davids and Van Bronckhorst getting in each other's way. Another corner. Figo will be taking it. Well, Madrid starting off in the ascendancy. They've already had 8 corners to Barcelona's 2. Really, Madrid carrying on where they left off before the break. It's Figo. Not such a good corner this time. It's cleared by Van Bronckhorst. Míchel Salgado going across the throw-in. ball boy taking his time there, and that's not great distribution from the good ball boy there.
No, he's had a nightmare, the lad.
Salgado to Figo, Luís Figo to Míchel Salgado. Iván Helguera. Good battling again from Míchel Salgado, and a crunching tackle from Davids. On his father Zidane! Well, we've seen him score those spectacular volleys.
That wasn't one of them.
That wasn't one of them. He got good contact and just couldn't quite keep the ball down there. Here you have a look at this Roberto Carlos free kick, which really... Actually, I don't think Valdés can have seen that till quite late, because it just passes over Puyol. Frank Rijkaard pacing around in front of the dugout. Nervous moments for the Barcelona coach as we're 5 minutes into the second half. 50 minutes gone of the game of the I'm going to say the game of the year, because game of the century seems a little bit over the top, but
even if we are only 4 years into it.
Even if we're 4 years into it, who knows what the future holds. Oof, Valdés.
Well, considering the way he was panicking earlier, that's unbelievably
remarkably cool from Victor Valdés. Good ball, excellent ball to Solari from Zidane. There is Valdés on his near post.
I'll tell you what, Paul, interestingly, just as that move was there, I have been very, very impressed tonight with Esteban Cambiasso in the middle of Real Madrid's midfield.
He's held it together, hasn't he? He's given that balance, that defensive.
And this is the guy that Real Madrid don't want. Well,
I mean, there could also be the fact that he knows it's going to be his last Madrid-Barca, unless of course he goes to Barcelona, I suppose. But
there is that possibility.
There is Esteban Cambiasso. He's really not had very limited opportunities this season, but he's held in there. He's done a defensive job, and his distribution's been good.
Yeah, it's been very good indeed.
Certainly, Guti is great when you're attacking, but he doesn't defend very well. Helguera's great when you're defending, but his distribution's not so great. Cambiasso seems to have given a little bit of both.
Yeah.
No free kick.
Cambiasso is a good partner for David Beckham.
Cocu. We saw Luis Enrique warming up for Barcelona.
And that would be very interesting if he was still on the pitch.
I think he will do as well, sooner or later. Probably another player who will be his last Madrid-Barca, and he's going to want to give it everything. Former Real Madrid player, of course, Luis Enrique. Never really won the fans over here, but he's deeply loved by the faithful in the camp now.
He certainly is, and there's Patrick Kluivert, who you're quite surprised to see him, but the way things are going, maybe Barcelona feel they need an outlook, someone they can hit long.
Just hold the ball. Saviola's struggled to get into this game, partly because I think Madrid have done such a good job on Xavi and Ronaldinho.
Yeah, and Madrid have played very deep as well, which has been very important.
Here's Figo. Luís Figo, doing well, Luís Figo, turning Davids, but Davids recovering, showing all those battling qualities. That means he hasn't actually lost a game, a Primera Liga game, since he came to Spain. That's not a bad cross from Beckham. Just looked as if that was going to curl away from Valdés, but Valdés got in there.
Yeah, he's just saying about Edgar Davids, it's an amazing record. It really is.
Poor clearance though from Valdés.
Madrid very definitely on top. You almost wonder if it's just a matter of time.
Here's Zidane. Oh, Valdés! Wow, what a clearance! Cambiasso! Figo! Valdés! Oh, no, that is brilliant from Victor Valdés! Well, I have to say, we've questioned him, but he's pulled off 2 saves there, Victor Valdés. That have been out of this world, still not clear. Solari, and there it is! Santiago Solari, the player Real Madrid. We say he's always a substitute, but there he is. Harsh and Valdés have pulled off 2 magnificent saves, but they didn't clear the lines, Barca, and there, Santiago Solari.
Well, Paul, time again, we talk about the Galacticos, everyone talks about them, they are fantastic players, but how many times have we seen Santiago Solari rescue this side? What a player this guy's. I've got to feel sorry for Victor Valdés.
He pulled off 2 absolutely, maybe 3 absolutely stunning saves just before that. He could do absolutely nothing from that shot from Santi Solari. So, I think the game deserved that goal, and I think if anyone did deserve it, it was Real Madrid.
Absolutely, it was.
Let's have a look at this. Short corner, not cleared, goes off Zidane's stomach, I think, and there is Solari, and there's nothing Valdés can do about that one.
No.
through a crowd of players. It actually goes through Van Bronckhorst, Puyol, and I think Cocu, and there's really nothing Valdés can do. So now Barca, they've really got to show their spirit now. 54 minutes here in the Santiago Bernabéu.
Luis Enrique.
And there is Luis Enrique. Maybe that's why there's whistles.
I think that probably is exactly why there's whistles. I think they've seen him.
And what will that do to Madrid's confidence as well? They've played well, they've looked good, and they've got the goal that their chances have deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's Barca who have to force the pace, and that could be very dangerous against a Madrid team who have been looking decent when they played on the break all game. Oof. Raúl on Ronaldinho, and I think Pérez Burrull decided, tried to play the advantage, and then penalising Raúl for that jump against the number 10.
Yeah, he's also made a gesture to the bench. I think he wants Barcelona to make the change now, but Barcelona have got on with it, so they'll have to wait a couple of minutes.
Davids. Oof, obstruction there from Cambiasso.
No, it's Beckham, I think.
Beckham, yeah. So many players with shaving heads in the middle of it.
Terrible, isn't it? At least when Beckham had nice long hair,
you can pick him out easily. Here is Solari. It's Overmars, Marc Overmars steaming into the box. Not going to get that. Did he just slip Helguera? And it's a goal kick, and now Barcelona making the change. I think it's going to be a double change, actually. I think Kluivert's going to come on as well. Nope, Pérez Burrull saying not this time. Barcelona want to make the change, but I don't think the referee's, yes he is. But it's Marc Overmars going off, and Saviola. Luis Enrique.
There's the reaction for Luis Enrique. Look at him. If ever there's been a man who loves to wind up the fans, it's Luis Enrique.
He's not highly motivated, Luis Enrique, tonight, is he? Good Lord. And Patrick Kluivert.
Slightly more serene, Patrick Kluivert. Luis Enrique loves to wind things up.
I'm surprised to see Kluivert on so early.
Yeah, I am. But Saviola has got nowhere with the Madrid defence. They've marshalled him very, very well.
So, all change in the Barca attacking line. We've got Luis Enrique on the right in midfield, got Patrick Kluivert on in the middle.
Well, the Madrid fans could not enjoy that anymore. Luis Enrique falls over and the whole place erupts.
They may not like him here, but I have to say Luis Enrique, for me, has been one of the top Spanish professionals of the last 10 years.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, Paul. Without any doubt at all.
He's 32, 33 now. It's his last season at Barcelona. Who knows if he'll go to Sporting Gijón, the club where he started his career. But really, he's been an example, both at Madrid and at Barcelona, I think.
Yeah.
It's Davids, Barca having to force the pace a little bit now. I'm very surprised, one of the other reasons. Van Bronckhorst onside. And there, Patrick Kluivert.
Goal! Well, would you believe it?
Well, I'm staggered.
Luis Enrique, look how much Luis Enrique's enjoying this.
There I was saying that I was surprised to see Patrick Kluivert on so early, and he just goes and scores. And the Madrid fans are not very happy about that. Patrick Kluivert levels the scores, you've got to say, against the run of play, but here in the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, Madrid went to sleep. Real Madrid won, Barcelona won, and that man, Patrick Kluivert, could he be happier?
It was a lovely pass from Cocu to set Van Bronckhorst.
I think he thought about going for glory himself. Decides a little chip, lob, cross, and there is Patrick Kluivert heading into an empty net. To be honest, seeing the way he played on Wednesday against China, that looked like the only sort of goal he was going to score.
This is incredible, Paul. This is incredible. I mean, Madrid really were all over them. I'll tell you what, hang on.
There's Figo. Good defending from Van Bronckhorst. Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, my. Look at Luis Enrique's face. Kluivert. Luis Enrique has never enjoyed himself so much in his life.
Yeah, the Barca fans up there high in the crowd. They're also pretty happy with things.
Yeah, not too many of them, but those of them that are there are delighted.
Not an easy place to visit if you're a Barcelona supporter.
No, it's not. No, it most certainly is not.
Well.
Oh, my word, Paul.
What? 5 more minutes of absolute drama. Madrid taking the lead, and I really thought they would have run away with it. It's Xavi. He's got Luis Enrique outside, and Luis Enrique. Oof, that wasn't a bad cross there. If there'd been someone just coming in behind those two strikers.
Not a bad cross at all.
As it is, there wasn't anyone walking in, running in, throwing for Real Madrid. Míchel Salgado takes that. Pérez Burrull. Actually, I just realised Pérez Burrull shares a little bit, clashes a bit with the Barca colours. It's It's just a little bit difficult to spot and pick out.
It's a little dark, isn't it?
Just a little bit, yeah. Maybe a bit of wearing a yellow in the second half. Míchel Salgado with the throw-in. He's actually playing his 250th game in the Primera Liga, Míchel, today. Started his career in Salamanca, playing in the second division, and he has played for Celta Vigo, who he made 92 appearances, and this is his 158th for Real Madrid. Here is Solari. He's got Roberto Carlos outside him. That's not a bad cross, just a little bit deep for Zidane. Zidane and Davids to chase that one, and it runs out for a Barca throw-in.
The game's just really opened up as well. I mean, at the middle of the pitch is, well, there's no one there. There's a motorway for them.
Cambiasso mugging Ronaldinho there, surely. Pérez Burrull once again earning himself a few whistles from the crowd, but I think it's the right decision.
I think you're right. I mean, as you say, I mean, if Ronaldinho checks his pocket, he'll probably find that Cambiasso's got his wallet. Because, I mean, it's one thing to block him taking the free kick, it's another thing to block him by pretty much standing on top of him, which is what he did.
He's earned himself a booking there.
Maybe a little unlucky to get the booking, but I think there's not too much doubt that Barca should get the free kick again.
Oh, that's a poor ball there. Beckham just robbed there by Davids, and Puyol making no mistakes with that clearance. Long for Kluivert to jump for. That is what Kluivert will give them, a bit of more space, a bit more strength in the air. Luis Enrique, Ronaldinho going all the way, is he?
That's a great challenge.
That is it's a free kick, Míchel Salgado. Absolutely.
That could even have been a penalty. I think it's a great challenge.
It's outside the box, whatever is outside the box, but Ronaldinho, just first bit of real magic is worked tonight. Yeah. Let's have a look at this.
That's a foul. Cambiasso's isn't. Helguera's is a foul.
Helguera's is a foul.
Cambiasso's isn't. Yeah. The referee's right. I actually thought that Cambiasso did really well. What I hadn't seen was that contact there.
Yeah, it's Helguera.
But Cambiasso did exceptionally well there. I thought Helguera's not happy about the decision, but
I don't think he'd really have any complaints. Let's see how far back Mr. Pérez Burrull gets the wall this time. Barca had a free kick in the first half, and I think the Madrid wall was basically about 4 yards away. Should be 10 yards. Let's see how far back it can have them. Well, if that ball's there, all the Madrid players should be behind the penalty spot when he takes it.
Yeah, they'll creep up, but at the moment they're in the right place.
Ronaldinho once again concentrating, focused.
That's a great shot.
It is. It's even better in high definition. Here he is, Ronaldinho. Got Luis Enrique in the wall, covering Iker Casillas' view. Absolute tension here in the stands. Tension in the commentary box as well as Ronaldinho. Luis Enrique saying, go on, hit it here, hit it towards me. Ronaldinho!
Poor, very poor in the end. Yeah, very disappointing free kick in the end from Ronaldinho.
Well, you won't be very happy with that.
I actually thought from there he should have been looking to hit it a little harder. As in fact, he's just lifted that. He's lifted it
way under it.
Awful. To be honest, awful. It's not often you say that about Ronaldinho, but that was very poor indeed.
Would have been a good kick in American football or rugby, but unfortunately,
it's not the game this guy's playing.
Unfortunately, the Santiago Bernabéu is a soccer stadium, and we are seeing one heck of a game of soccer at the moment. It's Madrid again, Santiago Solari, the goal scorer. Blocked for a corner, Van Bronckhorst.
Well, to be honest with you, I thought Santiago Solari put that off himself. I thought he backheeled it off himself and out for a corner. But anyway, Beckham to take it.
Beckham taking the corner, here he is, Beckham. With a dangerous corner, that is a great corner as well. Ronaldinho waiting for that ball to drop. Sorry, Davids waiting for that ball to drop. Hitting it long to Ronaldinho. Míchel Salgado, pressure. Cambiasso doing very well.
That is very cool from Salgado. Magnificent.
Once again, Cambiasso doing well, and that's a lovely little ball for Beckham. Oleguer just shielding it from Solari, doing well there on the edge of his box. Solari looking for someone, and nobody making themselves available there to help Santiago Solari.
Beckham made a late run, but Beckham has been the guy who gave him the pass in the first place. Shouldn't have been him that needed to get in there.
It's Figo.
Well played.
Well done for Figo. Good cross. Nobody in there on the far post. Luis Enrique just shields that one out, does he? No, he must have just brushed off his chest.
No, the fans are enjoying it when Luis Enrique gets the ball. And I think he's one of these guys who grows...
Deep down and does as well. It's a good ball, it's a good throw, Zidane. Little rebound, that's not gone out, and that's still with Luis Figo. Everyone's sleeping, there's Figo. Against Van Bronckhorst, doing well Luís Figo, as well as Van Bronckhorst, and that's gone for a goal kick.
I don't know if the fans, there's a guy just taking his shirt off in disgust in the crowd.
It's pleasantly warm, but it's not that hot.
I assume they're appealing for a handball. Possibly, might have been. I'm not sure that.
Let's have a look. Nah, no way.
I actually think that's underneath his armpit. I don't think that can seriously be a handball. Pérez has actually done a decent job tonight.
I think he's done quite well, yeah. A couple of decisions gone Barca's way, they could have gone Madrid's way. One or two the other way. But yeah, I mean, Barca can certainly not complain. Oof, a little bit of a knock there, perhaps, from Salgado and Ronaldinho.
I'm surprised that...
That's a good ball from Cambiasso for Raúl, eh? But it looked like a speculative sort of punt, but Raúl's done well to find Zidane. He's just dropping behind Solari, but here's Roberto Carlos. Trusty left foot from Roberto Carlos. Raúl going down, and I don't think there's anything there.
No, I don't think there's anything at all. I was just about to say, I'm surprised that Ronaldinho hasn't looked to get away from Míchel Salgado a little more.
It's a great ball in there from Roberto Carlos. Tantalisingly close to the diving Raúl González, but he just can't quite get there. And Carlos Queiroz breathing hard there. Both nervous-looking coaches there on the bench. 60 minutes gone in the Santiago Bernabéu, well, almost 61. Absolute drama that you're watching on World Sport. It's Real Madrid, Barcelona in high definition. It's 1-all. It's absolutely frantic end-to-end football. Really living up to the billing. Here come Madrid again, Zidane. Lovely pass to Luis Enrique, but he's no longer a Real Madrid player, unfortunately, for Zidane. Xavi, Ronaldinho has just stepped inside a wee bit now. I think he was in orbit there. Good decision from Pérez, Burrull, and oof, a little bit of frustration there from Ronaldinho, having a hack at Beckham. Beckham turning round on himself, and this time a free kick from Madrid. Pérez, Burrull just having a little word with Ronaldinho. Tell him to calm down, but I don't know how you can calm down at this moment, Sid.
It's racing, isn't it, this game?
Solari to Zidane. Zinedine Zidane, he's got Figo in acres of space. Here is Luís Figo. Looks up, maybe a bit deep, but I tell you what, danger in the far post, and a corner for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think Barcelona have left Luís Figo far too alone in the last 10 minutes or so on this right-hand side.
Bronckhorst has pulled in almost as a third central defender. And with Ronaldinho not really tracking back as a left-sided midfielder, Figo's been completely on his own. Yeah. As you saw then, Beckham with that corner, another good corner, Valdés! Tried to get there, didn't get there. Figo did. Could not direct that header between the posts. And let's have a look at this. Beckham curls that one in there. Figo. Well, I don't know if Pérez Burrull's given a free kick actually, but Valdés doesn't particularly time that well. In fact, he has given a free kick. To Valdés, hitting that one long. Driver not jumping. Still ball with Ronaldinho.
Well, I'll tell you, there's been lots of criticism in the press about Esteban Cambiasso. I think he's been magnificent.
It's a very good game, Esteban Cambiasso. Considering he's not playing regularly, he looks very cool. His work rate's been up there. All credit to him, and all credit to this man, Carlos Queiroz, for having the courage to pick him.
Yeah, in a club where decisions are not always that easy to take. And Cambiasso is not a favoured man of the club as an institution, and Queiroz has had to be brave to pick him, particularly with a club and the press leaning on him to, shall we say, make different decisions.
Well, Pérez Burrull, Barca giving the ball away. Oof, that's a horrific tackle from Figo.
I tell you, that was a clash of two titans there.
That is a horrendous tackle, and let's see what the referee's doing. There's a booking in there for Luís Figo.
Figo's been booked already, that's red. That's red, he was booked for complaining. Yeah. Well, I think he was. Figo was booked for complaining in the first half about the one that he thought went over the line. I'm pretty sure he was.
Or maybe it was Raúl.
I don't know. Tell you, I thought Figo had been booked in the first half.
I think he's lucky to escape with just a second yellow card there. With just a yellow card there, I think that's a horrific tackle. If we see the chance to see that again, maybe it's enthusiasm going for the ball, but I think if we get the chance to see that one, I think he goes for
that.
that.
Figo is walking, Paul. It's taken a while.
Yeah, second. Oh dear. That isn't a yellow card. That should be a direct red card. That is a horrific tackle from Luís Figo. And he's been sent off for 2 yellow cards. I think it could have been a direct red.
Yeah.
It would not, I mean, to be fair, it's 2 yellows, but he went in there full speed, 2 feet ahead of him.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, as I said at the time, it struck me as a 2 immovable. I mean, 2. It was the irresistible force against the immovable order. 2 of them went steaming in. Pujol got there first, cleared the ball with real venom actually, and Figo through, studs up. I don't really think Figo has too much to complain about. As you say, it could have been worth a red card in itself. As it was certainly worth a yellow. And Beckham shakes his head.
But I think there is absolutely no question about that decision. I mean,
well, I think you're right.
If Carlos Puyol is being stretched off the pitch, it just tells you how hard a tackle it was.
Yeah. And as I say, I mean, some of the strength of the challenge, the pace of the challenge, was also not just about Figo. It was about how quick Pujol was coming in. But it's Pujol coming in, clearing the ball with his laces. Figo coming through with his studs up. That's the difference. Figo doesn't look happy. Stood in the tunnel watching this.
I think Carlos Queiroz is also indicating that he'll be making a substitution. Madrid down to 10 men for the last 20 minutes of this game. Well, I'm sure there'll be some discussions about that in the papers tomorrow, but I really don't think.
Well, the Ultra Sur, the end of the south end of the ground, just put up a banner, Paul, that says, "Journalists, your images make a lie of your reports, your information."
Well, tell that to Carlos Puyol after that tackle from Figo. Oh, good cross. Oh, well done, Iker Casillas there.
Great claim from Casillas.
And Casillas clearing that.
That's an amazing clearance.
A brilliant clearance.
I thought for a minute Raúl was going to reach that.
It is Puyol coming back on the pitch, but
actually he doesn't look that comfortable.
I'm not surprised. That was, as I say, that was a horrible tackle.
I mean, Pujol is a powerhouse, more than capable of putting in pretty nasty challenges himself. But I think you're right. I think the big issue there was Figo studs up. I think that's the real key.
In any game, anywhere, even in the Bernabéu, in San Mamés, in Manchester, in Wembley, in the park I play on a Saturday, if you're going with 2 feet ahead of you like that, you're going to get booked.
Yeah.
And if you've already been booked once. Anyhow, Madrid trying to shrug off that numerical disadvantage there. Cambiasso giving a little reminder there to Xavi, and he's going to be a bit careful. Cambiasso,
we've
he's
just
also
seen
been
Salgado went to Ronaldinho in the middle of the pitch rather than saying right back. Salgado has been asked to pick up Ronaldinho tonight.
Xavi, spare man Luis Enrique. Good defending from Madrid, got men in the box, still not clear. Casillas having to clear that one with his foot, not with his hands. Obviously, considering that one a back pass. Did well though, Madrid, there, closing down Luis Enrique.
Yeah, they did. I actually thought Luis Enrique was a little slow to make his pass, but once he'd not given it on the first opportunity, then Madrid did very well to close him off. Well, we've got one hell of a game in front of us. I mean, this has been a magnificent, tense, fast match all the way through, but now...
Well, we were just saying how much space Figo was getting and how much damage he was threatening to do to Barcelona, and he gets himself sent off, so... Depends what Madrid do now. I mean, they really need the 3 points because they can't allow Valencia to get 2-point gap if Valencia win later on tonight.
Mind you, to be honest with you, Paul, I suspect Valencia won't win later on tonight.
Foul there, Van Bronckhorst.
I almost wonder if we might see this. Now, I'm not saying Solari necessarily dived there. Although he did seem to make
trying to pressure the referee.
Well, actually, I think he did dive. I think he did dive. He made most of the push. But in any case, I think what we might see exactly is both sides trying to pressure the referee, trying to make the most of the fact that there is a very tense atmosphere out there now.
Well, again, doing well once again, forcing Raúl off. 17 minutes left in the Bernabéu. Absolute drama, 1-1. Real Madrid down to 10 men after Luís Figo sending off.
Oh, what plays it out?
Which means, of course, that Figo won't be available for next week's game in A Coruña. We won't be there. We'll be in the camp now for the Catalan derby as Barcelona entertain Espanyol. Espanyol who are really coming into thought form.
Kluivert's offside though. No, he's waiting now.
Here's Luis Enrique. He's going to go all the way. Great tackle. Brilliant tackle there from Iván Helguera.
I think was it Reitziger in the end actually?
It is Reitziger. Brilliant tackle from Helguera. Barca must be ruining the absence of Luis Garcia at this very moment. You'd have thought the injured winger would have stormed through there. That is a fantastic block from Helguera.
It is.
I thought perhaps Reitziger, once Helguera was sliding in, should have cut back and looked for Kluivert in the box.
That's the difference between having a defender attacking and an out-and-out first-choice striker. As it is, Barcelona have a free kick now, and Carlos Queiroz there, you see him speaking to Guti. Oh, no, Guti.
That's slightly surprising.
Will he be replacing Cambiasso? It's a brave move if he does.
Yeah, very brave move if he does.
Or will he for this
Raúl
one
is pulling Pujol as they go for that in the boxing. I mean, miles before the free kick was even taken, it seemed rather pointless.
There's Pujol now. Well, he's getting whistled for the Madrid fans, but I don't really know why. All he did was get kicked. Oh, chance for a break now. Beckham. Doing well, Davids, and Reitziger using his pace to get across. Michael Reitziger forcing Beckham down towards that corner. Seems to lose his balance for a second there, Beckham, and he definitely lost his balance there. Linesman not giving anything.
Well, I think...
Now Beckham getting all worked up in that corner. I think he's trying to say that Van Bronckhorst stepped on him.
Now he's saying something to the linesman. I think bizarrely, I mean, Beckham as he sprinted down the wing, he actually seemed to be running out of gas, as if he was going to fall over of his own accord. I think, in a funny sort of way, he was quite pleased to have the contact so that he could go down.
Yeah.
Or at least he would have been if he won the foul.
I think that is a little push there from Reitziger, to be fair, and it is right in front of the linesman. We've got Guti ready to come on. It'd be quite interesting to see who's the player taking office.
Yeah, I mean...
Beckham getting a little bit...
possibly Zidane if he's tired. I mean...
Maybe even Raúl to put Guti up as a centre-forward and give him a little bit more height in attack. I'd be surprised if he did that.
It would be a brave decision to do that.
Luis Enrique to Xavi. Oof. Good block there from Cambiasso. For a second he used the hand. I think it was his chest, though. This game, Madrid has still only got 10 men, but they're still not over by a long way.
Great challenge
tackle there from Helguera.
Great challenge.
Xavi. It's just been one of Ronaldinho's most disappointing performances, to be fair. We've talked him up so much, and really Madrid did an excellent defensive job on him. Here he is now, Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho using his strength. Ronaldinho.
Great cross.
Kluivert over the bar. That was easy, almost as easy as the first one from Patrick Kluivert.
How did he miss, Paul?
Well, he hit it too high, Sid.
Oh, dear.
And it is indeed Zinedine Zidane, I think, the player taken off
yeah, it is, yeah.
for Real Madrid. Yeah, he's faded in the second half, the Frenchman. Maybe that'll allow... Well, it'll be interesting to see if Raúl drops into a deeper role or whether Guti just fits in there. I think it looks like Guti's just going to fit in there.
My guess is that there's a little bit of fear about losing this, that Guti will play a little deeper. He's having a word with Cambiasso and with Beckham. I think he's suggesting to Beckham that Beckham goes right. And that Guti will play in the middle of Cambiasso. Beckham's going to drift a little bit further
that
right.
That would make sense with Figo having been sent off.
Exactly.
And they have found space on the right, the second half of Madrid, at least before Figo got sent off. It's a poor ball from Van Bronckhorst, and Guti collecting that one.
Well, we were just saying that Ronaldinho had a poor game. They produced a lovely bit of skill to get that cross in.
Lovely bit of skill there from Solari, and he's got Beckham with him.
Kluivert should have scored.
David Beckham, good cross in the box. Pujol, not a great clearance from Carlos Pujol. Nobody challenging Van Bronckhorst. He's able to clear that, no pressure. It's Ronaldinho. We got from Guti, Luis Enrique.
First time Luis Enrique's done well with the ball, actually. He's touched me
yeah, it's been a bit slack, hasn't it? Here he is again. Luis Enrique's got Davids outside him. Looking for the run from Davids. Edgar Davids. A bit static, Barca.
There was Davids doing on the left as well.
Kluivert. Patrick Kluivert. Still look, there's nobody really making themselves available for Barcelona here.
No, there's no movement at all. It's bizarre.
Reitziger.
They're pretty much in the penalty area and no one's even moving. It's very weird.
Will you have a third attempt, Reitziger, at crossing? He's done quite well there, Michael Reitziger's picked out Ronaldinho, but nobody looked to help him.
No, not even Ronaldinho. That was really
surprising. That's very slack from Ronaldinho as well. Easy for Pujol.
The idea was nice from Cambiasso, though. It gets a bit of a groan from the crowd, but Cambiasso saw it early and went for it.
One thing about I wouldn't say against Barca, in the context of this game, 1-1 isn't a bad... Well, they deserve more, maybe, Madrid. But at least the draw puts Barca out of the title race. Ooh! Ooish! Don't think Casillas saw that till very late. It's got a little deflection.
I'm very, very surprised. Very surprised to see.
Robbing Solari. Carlos Pujol. Oh! Oof, that's a horrible tackle from Solari. Poor old Carlos Pujol is
He's in the water.
In the water.
I actually think, I mean, you're right, it was a very bad tackle from Solari, but Solari doesn't have a malicious bone in his body. I'm pretty sure that was just a misjudgment. But poor Carlos Puyol, who's really been in the water tonight.
I think that's what you call a professional foul from Santiago Solari, because Puyol had a lot of space here. Let's have a look. Well, if it's misjudged, it's very badly misjudged.
Yeah, it is. But I think it was more than anything else. Solari knew he wasn't going to get there. Made one last desperate attempt and well, effectively, as I say, didn't get there. Barcelona surprised me in that last attack, how few people they put in the box, how few options they gave themselves. And it's really surprised me how far to the left Davids has played in the last 10 minutes or so. It's very weird. There's just a little bit of spark gone out of. I mean, because Barcelona, surely you'd think
they have gone on it like 110 miles an hour all game.
But surely, having got the equaliser, you'd expect them when they got a guy in the corner of the penalty area like that, everyone would be bombing forward, screaming for it. I want it. It hasn't happened. And it's very odd.
So Ronaldinho and Van Bronckhorst. Ronaldinho. Good clearance from Raúl Bravo again.
Yeah, it's Cocu coming in at far post. Kluivert was a little unlucky not to reach that as well. The atmosphere has turned very tense.
It's a bit nervous in here, isn't it?
Very nervy in here.
Especially that's Figo. Even with Figo on the pitch, you could still see Madrid winning it. Now it's going to be difficult for them. Good corner.
Quite honestly, I can still see Madrid winning it, Paul.
Not a great clearance. That's up in the air. Van Bronckhorst powers that one. There's Puyol. Well. I bet he loves it every time he gets the ball now. Ronaldinho. Taking on Guti. Good work from Guti there. And Beckham helping out. Xavi, have to be quick though. Roberto Carlos is catching Xavi there. Davids. Cocu, just a bit long for Cocu. Just takes him on his back. I think they'll allow him to keep it in. He's got Rüştü with him. He's crying out for a good cross. I really think Barca should be getting people into the penalty area a bit more. Davids, Madrid only leaving Raúl up front. Davids, that's poor from Davids.
And there goes Beckham.
That's tactically very poor from Edgar Davids. He was the last man, and it really has allowed Madrid to break. Good run from Raúl, just on the edge of the box. Beckham, Puyol
did very well.
And just there you can just see that lack of demand there for Madrid. You know, otherwise they could have had that man coming in there on the far post. Now it's back Barca. Xavi, Luis Enrique, Ronaldinho in the middle. David's pulling up his socks. Ronaldinho. Took Kluivert. Davids, not really any width now in the Barca team.
No.
Making it easy for Madrid to tighten them down, and nobody in the penalty area. Kluivert, really the best option he had. Here's David. Was he offside? No, slips though. Salgado getting in another vital tackle. They seem to be almost suffering a little bit from vertigo, Barcelona, at the moment, which is amazing. You'd think they would want to win this.
I mean, I know that obviously hurts, but I think David Beckham is a very lucky boy. Because I think teeing that ball up to thump it clear, I thought he put himself in much more trouble than he needed to. I don't know whether it was a foul, I think it probably was. But I think he's a little lucky to get away without David Beckham, although obviously he's been kicked for his troubles, but I think he put himself in a lot more trouble than he needed to. I don't think that's a foul. In fact,
it's a foul. It's the other way.
The foul is the other way. Beckham booted.
Van Bronckhorst seems to win that cleanly.
Yeah, I think Beckham's a very lucky boy there.
Luis Enrique robbing that. Hasn't got the pace that he used to have these days. Decides to use Xavi. Cocu slows it down, plays it out to Rüştü. Xavi. All Barca. Madrid, you can see them in a line of four there. The Madrid midfield waiting for the Barcelona attack so they can try and break it down and look for that break. That's a bit slack though. Van Bronckhorst in. No, he isn't. Decides to go back to Davids. Seems to have learned the lesson. Davids back to Cocu. Davids feel the tension in this ground.
I sort of sense a bit of tension among the Barcelona players as well, though. Almost as if they don't know what to do with it.
They can do it, yeah, exactly.
They're attacking very surprisingly slowly, as if there is a lack of belief.
Maybe they are a little bit tired. Maybe they've just given it everything for so long that they're feeling it. Here's Luis Enrique. Good battling from Guti. Does well there, Guti. Throwing for Real Madrid.
Motta.
Thiago Motta now. I wonder if this is because Puyol is injured or whether they really want to be a little bit more attacking. I think Cocu will drop back a bit deeper. Motta will go into the midfield role, and it has to be said, however, and Madrid are taking off Solari,
who's played very well.
Very well again. And they're bringing on, I think is that Núñez on the far side?
Looks like Núñez to me from here. Haven't yet seen his number, but I think it's Núñez.
It is Núñez. Well, he's a right-sided midfielder. Yeah, it is Núñez. Right-sided midfielder who can maybe play a bit more of a defensive role.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see. I wonder if Queiroz might throw him on up front just to put a little bit of pace in.
Well, yeah, it's a good idea as well.
On the break, I mean...
But there is Núñez with Raúl. Raúl on the ball. Doing well, Raúl. Beckham supporting him. That's a great ball from Raúl, no offside. Beckham storming into the box. Núñez looks up. Job of his stuff for Beckham. Davids. Desperate stuff. Here's Guti. He's got Míchel Salgado outside here, robbed by Davids, but not cleared. Van Bronckhorst now. Both teams have started to make hard work out of this game. Ronaldinho. Once again, Ronaldinho looked slow there.
Yeah, he did. He looked very sluggish. Here's Beckham.
There's Beckham.
Raúl's in acres of space.
I think he was offside there, Raúl. No, he wasn't. Play on. Now it's Madrid who are in the ascendancy. This is incredible with 5 minutes to go in the Bernabéu. That should be easy for Valdés, and it is bravely there. Now is a chance for Barca. It's 4 against 4.
And I tell you, Real Madrid's managers are jumping up and down over there. This is incredible, the nerves and the tension. The Barca just seem to be doing everything in slow motion. That's the amazing
thing. They've allowed Madrid to get 2 more players back. Is Ronaldinho.
He's onside. I don't believe it.
Oh,
I don't believe it!
To Barcelona!
What a pass from Ronaldinho! That is incredible!
Ahead here in the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. It seemed as if they were playing in slow motion. But there was Xavi with that flick over Iker Casillas. It's Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 2, and the league is in Valencia's hands at the moment.
This is incredible, Paul. I can't believe what we are seeing here. This game has gone backwards and forwards all game. It's been absolutely incredible. Just virtually a second ago, David Beckham put in that an amazing cross. Raúl was free on the far post, just a fraction too far. Raúl could make it. Barca came up the other end. The two of us said to each other, they're playing too slowly. And then suddenly Ronaldinho, who appears to have been disappointed all match, pulls out an incredible scoop pass from nowhere. Everybody seemed to stop. I think maybe Xavi thought it was offside. Maybe Madrid thought Xavi was offside.
Here's that pass. A little flick from Ronaldinho.
What
Xavi
goal
outside of his foot, but it's still not over here.
I'll tell you, it's not over. This is not over. I mean, some Madrid fans are leaving, Paul, but I think they're mad. I wouldn't be at all surprised.
That's an incredible flick from Ronaldinho, and Xavi
That's a great
finish. And it just bounces tantalisingly there.
Yeah, Raúl Bravo just whacking it into his own net, just couldn't reach it quick enough. And this is absolutely incredible.
We've got 3 minutes of normal time left in the Santiago Bernabéu. It's Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 2. Madrid 1 in Barcelona just before Christmas on the 6th of December. Can Barcelona on the point of turning the tables, putting themselves within 4 points of Real Madrid? And throwing
the nerves here are incredible, Paul. I mean, we've been saying it for 20 minutes or so. I mean, the whole game's been wide open, and it's still wide open now. You almost wonder, I mean, I'm sure Frank Rijkaard must be looking at this, screaming to himself and his players, just close up, just close up. And both sides have been very, very open all game.
If there are any members of the World Sport audience thinking about going to make a cup of coffee or get an extra beer from the
anywhere,
fridge, I'd advise you to stay stuck for a couple more minutes.
I tell you, this is absolutely... Paul, we're watching better and better matches every week. This has been exceptional.
That's a good free kick. Valdés!
I tell you, there is nerves now all over the ground. Every chance I think's going in now. Every chance I think is going in. This is amazing.
It's an incredible second half, really, because Madrid started
fabulous.
They got the goal, and the game looked theirs for the taking. I think that's a free kick. It is indeed. And then all of a sudden, Barca got a goal from nowhere, and the game has just become. Look at the shot total: 76 for Real Madrid, 13 for Real Madrid. For Barca, just lost all shape. It's completely open.
They're all over the place. It's
incredible game of football. I'll tell you what, if I was Luís Figo in the changing rooms, I'd be looking at myself in the mirror about that tackle.
Yeah, I'd be kicking myself almost as much as I'd kicked
Puyol. Núñez penalised for the foul there.
I think that's a very poor decision. I think Núñez is very.
It's a good decision.
I think Núñez is very, very unfortunate there. Núñez currently studying a law degree. I mean,
that's good.
Not too many footballers I mean, there might be contact. I think he's a bit. I think he's a bit.
Halfway down before.
Yeah, I think Van Bronckhorst is pretty much already on the turf. This is absolutely amazing.
Ooh, offside there against Clive.
I'm not so sure.
I think it just was. Frank Rijkaard isn't so sure either. Neither is Patrick.
No. Well, those two were never going to be sure, but I wasn't quite so sure myself.
We're into the last
There is no time to breathe here. This is amazing.
Raúl,
oh my goodness!
I thought for a second Valdés was way out of position there, just off his line. Raúl got the header on it. That's two chances we did have had in the last 2 minutes.
I think that was Cambiasso's pass as well. I mean, he's had a really, really good game, Cambiasso.
Off Ronaldinho.
Lovely touch.
Just offside, Luis Enrique.
Again. This time he's right.
Just a yard.
This time he's right.
How much would Luis Enrique
My goodness.
enjoy it if this game finishes like this? His last game, his last Madrid-Barca. Clive strolling offside.
I thought Ronaldinho was thinking about shooting, and I think Casillas was as well. Casillas went sprinting back to goal line.
All of a sudden, Ronaldinho's come to life.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it hasn't been his best game, but that pass.
If I just look at the linesman, the fourth official saying 3 minutes of injury time. So if you can hold on for another 3 minutes.
He's through.
He's
not going to make it, though.
Just a bit far away from him, and Iker Casillas wasting no time sending that ball through. We're into injury time.
What's amazing, Paul, is that Barcelona are winning 2-1. Madrid are pressing. And yet when that ball went long to Raúl, they only had one defender back there.
Yep, strange.
They're a man up. They should have about 55 defenders.
Tactically, this game's been a nightmare for the last few minutes.
There goes Ronaldinho. Is he
Can
too
you
quick?
go all the way through? Ronaldinho! Ronaldinho! Ronaldinho!
Oh,
has
he's
put it
missed
wide.
it!
An incredible end to this game. And he's still smiling about it. I don't think he's smiling because we'd find an equaliser. Just see the pace there of the
If Madrid find an equaliser, he'll be very, very disappointed. And I wouldn't put it past Paul. This game, anything. That's a great challenge.
Storming tackle from Motta. Here's Motta now. Thiago Motta.
This game is immense. And Beckham's going for him. So Bravo.
Well, that's the right ball from Motta.
I don't understand why Clive didn't push himself further up, to be honest.
Indeed, I think that's the right decision. But there's nobody there in support. Clive really should be fresh enough to chase the end of that ball. Taking away the injury time. Real Madrid really up against it. Can this be not only their second home defeat of the season, but their second consecutive home defeat?
Well, I don't think it will be. I think they're going to score. I really do. It's been one of those games.
Well, Raúl wide. Cloud appealing for penalty. I think hit him on the stomach.
My goodness, Paul. My goodness.
What
drama, what tension. I mean, my God.
As they would say in Barcelona, tot el camp es un clam.
They certainly do say that. Tot el camp es un clam. Yeah, the whole camp is a clamour. Everyone's excited. No, I don't think it's a foul there. Handball,
it's his stomach.
I'll tell you.
So Madrid, could their last two home results, could they cost them the league title? Still not over. It's not over.
Look how open they are still. I mean, this is incredible. It's incredible that in this kind of situation, the game of this importance, that they're still both... It's wide open. It is wide open.
But Barca must think that they can score another. That's the whole... I don't even pretend to understand what the players are thinking, to be honest.
No, nor do I. I mean, this is...
With about half a minute left in injury time. Here's Ronaldinho.
Might he go for the gap? He might, you know. He's seen Luis Enrique. Clever pass.
Luis Enrique, who must be really enjoying this. Time ticking away. Madrid needing that ball, of course, if they're going to score the equaliser. Flow in for Barca. I'm sure Barca would be very,
Paul, there is about 15
happy.
seconds left if the referee sticks to those original 3 minutes. He's looking at his watch now,
no reason why he shouldn't. Xavi taking the second stick away. That looks like a free kick. It is indeed.
Oh, what a bit of skill that was!
And there ladies and gentlemen,
my goodness,
the final whistle. Luis Enrique
kicks
the ball up towards the Barca fans in the stand. The final score here in the Camp Nou, and how happy are those Barca players? It's Real Madrid 1, FC Barcelona 2. Real Madrid had the chance to go back on the top of the table for a league, well, even if only for 2 hours. They've lost at home. They've lost the big classic against their most bitter rivals.
I'll tell you.
Real Madrid 1, Barca 2. Incredible.